Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalbrin, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to play Duel Wield DK. So, the reason I'm making a video on Duel Wield DK, even though I usually do rogue videos, I simply just couldn't figure out how to play DK as a Dual Wield spec. I'm too used to the Obliterate two-hander spec, so for the longest time I couldn't figure out how to play DK. So I figured it out. I thought I'd share with you guys for anybody who wants to play Death Knight and wants to get into the Dual Wield meta and be able to perform fairly well at it. So I'm going to cover everything from the presence you should sit in, to defensive, to rotation, and it's gonna go by pretty quickly, but it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm basically just gonna tell you guys how to do it. I'm gonna give you some tidbits on why you do the things you do, but for the most part, it's real simple. It's a Death Knight. It's not too difficult. A lot of people can pick it up fairly easy. So first thing you do as a Dual Wield DK, you get rid of Obliterate. It is an ability you will basically never have to use. It costs too many runes, one unholy, one frost, and there's better ways to spend them. So, as a Dual Wield DK, first thing you will be doing is sitting in Frost Presence for most of your damage. Frost Presence and generating runes is what you're all about. So, your rune power generation is 20% better. Your reduction of Frost Strike cost for runic power is reduced by 15, and you also sit in CC 20% less. So that is good. If you are getting trained, go Blood Presence, and then your rotation is going to change. Basically, once you're in Blood, you want to go for a Sustain rotation. In Frost Presence, you want to go for Damage and rotation. Let me explain some of the talents that I'm using right now. Blood Tap, I like to macro into my Frost Strike macro. So basically, each time you spend 15 runes, you get a charge of Blood Tap, and maximum of it you can have stack of 12. If you want to use them up, you use 5 stacks of blood charges to activate a fully depleted rune. What I like to do is put it together with Frost Strike, since I am using up runic power with Frost Strike always. Basically, as I'm using up runic power, I can sometimes get a blood rune off of that. Basically, in most cases, you'll burn through your runes, and then you'll start using your runic power. And by the time you've burned your death runes, and then your frost runes, and then you could use extra runes on the side as just a simple macro. You want to go Death Saffron because it's probably the best heal, although it's a little wonky for anybody who doesn't play Death Knight often, or isn't used to rune management all that much, but it still is the best heal in the game. So Necrotic Plague is there for kind of sustained damage, not really for bursted damage. You never try to build up Necrotic Plague. It's basically just a way easier way to spread it. You just hit your target, it applies the damage, it'll stack, it'll deal some sustain, but mostly using it so it's easier to Plague Leech. Instead of having to maintain 2 different dots, you just have one. Makes it that much easier to play a Death Knight. For your glyphs, you can basically go whatever. Runic power, whenever you're slowed by any slows, you generate runic power every 1 second for 5 seconds. So it's kind of nice. If you're slowed forever, once you finally get to that hunter or that mage that's slowing you, you could basically just unload a bunch of your frost strikes onto him. Next thing you want to do on your Death Knight is get 2 one-handed weapons. You want to enchant your main hand with Rune of the Fallen Crusader. That will allow you to get 50% extra damage on a proc on a weapon. I think it's 15% extra strength, so use it as soon as you get a chance and try to line up your burst around that. It's a really cool buff. Second one is Rune of Razor Eyes. The way the Rune of Razor Eyes works, every time you hit your target, you can stack up Razor Eyes to 5 times. Frost damage taken from your Death Knight abilities are increased by 4%. The faster you can stack it onto a target, the better. So basically, you're going to be stacking that while trying to get like proc trinket or Anya Stringer, depending on what you play, and then getting your main weapon proc to appear at the same time. Just all go hand in hand, and basically for the increase of Frost DK damage. Alright, now that we got the setups out of the way, we got the talents out of the way, we got the enchants out of the way, mostly we'll be stacking Mastery. So Mastery then Versatility, simple. And then apply all your neck, ring, and weapons, don't worry, you already have DK enchants. So you're going to be stacking Mastery for all that Frost damage. So that's where most of your damage will be coming from, is just Frost damage increase. So what do you do for your rotation? Your rotation is basically this. You Howling Blast on your Death Runes and Frost Runes. So that's basically it. You would think that, oh, why don't I just Obliterate for Frost and Unholy? 2 Howling Blasts actually deal slightly more damage than Obliterate, at least more guaranteed. Obliterate can be blocked, it's partially melee, but Howling Blast is a magical hit, so it'll hit your target from a distance, and you can close up on him. Once you're up close and you have Unholy Runes, just use them on Plague Strike. You'll basically be able to advance your Razor Eyes a bit quicker, you'll be able to get dots on your enemies, and while you're doing that, you're building and waiting for Killer Machine procs, which on auto attacks allow your next Obliterate or Frost Strike to automatically critical strike, so it'll be a guaranteed critical strike. So you gotta get into your enemy's face, start auto-attacking him. While you're auto-attacking, Howling Blast, Howling Blast, Howling Blast. Look, I have Killing Machine proc. Use it since I have the runic power. Howling Blast, Plague Strike because I have a bunch of Plague Runes. Look, Killing Machine back up. I have the runes. Go for it. And that's and I'm back to it. And if you have extra rune power, you can sink it into a Frost Strike even if you don't have Killing Machine. But basically that's how you would do. We also macroed Frost Strike together so we can get our blood runes working as quickly as possible so we can refresh our runes as soon as we can. So just keep hitting and hammering away at the Frost Strike. So look, we got another Death Rune, that's another Howling Blast, another Howling Blast. We can get another Howling Blast in a second. We have enough runes, Kill Machine. That's basically it. So it's really just 3 abilities for the most part. So that is what you do, and some of the other options when you go in terms of your spending runes. If the target is low or you can get it low in a bit of burst, apply Soul Reaper, then just go hammering damage in. If you're training someone like a healer or somebody who has a lot of buffs, it actually might be better to roll with the glyph of Icy Touch. Instead of your Frost Howling Blast, hit him with Icy Touch. Icy Touch will hit him for a little bit of damage, but it'll also dispel whatever buffs they have. So basically, instead of spamming Howling Blast, you spam Icy Touch. And honestly, it's a better option. Let's say you have maybe like a druid or a priest who puts on bubbles on themselves. Let's say they put a bubble on themselves for 80k damage. No matter what gear you are, you just took off 80k worth of Absorb. It's almost like you hit him for 80k damage, but instead of hitting him really hard, you just took off the Absorb. In terms of your burst, what I like to do is do something simple. I just like to get my Pillar of Frost, and you can use whatever on your strengths you have. Use your Pillar of Frost often. Just burst often, it's 1 minute cooldown, increase your strength by 20%. If you can, macro it with your main hand weapon proc. Right, so we have it right here. Bam, you have it with you. How would you utilize Empower Rune Weapon? Basically, after you've gone through all your runes, whenever you want to, basically. If you're low on runes, basically, I guess the best way to be the most efficient at using your Empower Rune Weapon is when you have exhausted all of your runes, and then you just need to get it back up. So let's say in the opener, you just go ham, get out your 4 Howling Blasts, your 2 Plague Strikes, and then bam, you hit them with a Empower Rune Weapon. But then you'll probably have Kill Machine proc again, so you can hit with a Frost Strike and then go back to Howling Blast. Have too much rune power, Frost Strikes. Basically, that's how you do it. It's really simple, to be honest. Alright, so playing defensive as a Death Knight. Basically, you will want to learn how to use your runes properly. It actually is a bit more beneficial to stay in Frost Presence in order to heal yourself better, because you still get that rune regeneration. You can get those Frost Strikes in there, then you can combo that together with the Blood Tabs and get your runes back. But basically, this is how it goes. You would use the Death Runes to hit enemies with Death Siphon. That's probably one of the best heals you got. So you got those Frost Runes and Holy Runes, which you can't use on a heal, right? So they're kind of useless, right? So when you can't use Death Runes, you basically Death Strike your target. You Death Strike him, look, I generate extra runes, bam, spend more runes. And now you can still do your Blood Tabs. Basically, that's how you would want to do it. Once you're out of runes and you have dots in enemy, Plague Leech. If you have any kind of dots, let me just get through this, get some blood runes generated, right? Bam, Plague Leech. Now you have more death runes, so you can spam Death Siphons on. And that's basically what you're trying to do, is mostly use up Death Siphons more than anything. You want to keep hitting your enemy because you still deal a lot of damage as a DK. But basically, you would just have to swap between using, Death Strikes and Death Siphons, or using your Howling Blast and Plague Strikes. So it's really just about learning your rune management and just getting used to it, how they regenerate, and then just being able to apply it in BGs. It's really simple. You just got to be able to switch your mindset from going offensive to going defensive. Sometimes, let's say, you'll be hitting your targets with Howling Blast, Plague Strike since you're in the middle, Plague Strike. You need a bit of heal. You'll just won't even think about it. You'll just hit them with a Death Siphon. You get some rune power in there, so you get to use it up. You've got a free death wound, so you're just gonna heal a bit yourself if you need to, and you'll just be able to bounce between back and forth with those. But basically, it's all about staying in Frost Presence if you can. You can go Blood Presence, which will kind of dampen your whole rune regeneration altogether, right? Look, it's that much slower, but I guess it's okay. Like, it's not that bad, to be honest. Another thing, again, keep up your dot if you are going defensive. You want to at least hit your target with the Plague Strike or whatever, so then you can get that Plague Leech back later down the line, right? No runes, bam, Plague Leech. I can heal myself again if I'm really in that much trouble. Coming back to my target, Plague Leech, get another heal, and then you're back to being good to go basically. For the most part, do try to stay in Frost Presence. It's really just a better presence overall, even if you're trying to play defensive. That's really all I get to say to you. And I think that's really about it in terms of playing Frost DK Dual Wield. It's much simpler than you think. You just replace whatever abilities you have. I mean, as you can see, my bars are kind of just scattered, but they're not too complex looking for the most part. So it's a really cool playstyle. I actually kind of enjoy it. It's actually a lot of fun. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope this helps you learning to play DK Dual Wield. Hopefully I made some sense of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.